Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make this full view, sometimes known as continuous landscape card. So it ends up being 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, so it fits in a standard envelope. But when you open it, this is what you get. You get the full glory of a piece of 6 by 6, slightly trimmed down designer series paper. So I mean, there's like one of those, 3 ingredient recipes. It's a 3 ingredient card. So without further delay, let me get started. Actually, first of all, let me bring in Splendid Autumn was the 6 by 6 that I used. So here are the multitude of ingredients. It's a piece of Cajun Craze, 8 1/2 by 5 1/2, scored at 4 1/4, but it's also scored at 1 1/2 on the left hand side. So we'll fold it in half as usual, so it becomes the regular fits in an envelope size, and then we will fold the 1 1/2 inch extra fold back on itself. So it's almost a mini sort of ZZ fold concept. I've got a piece of 5 1/4 by 2 crushed curry, which goes on the inside for writing. And then I actually cut down a little banner for the greeting. And then the other piece is the 6 by 6 designer series paper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it down to be 5 1/4, which will come off the top. I mean, you can decide, it either has to come off the top or the bottom, but you can decide where on your piece you would rather lose that little bit of extra. But what I'm going to do is, the piece that it is, I've got 3/4 inches is what was left. And I thought, rather than just put a little 3/4 inch piece to fill this gap here, I thought I would cut it into 3 1/4 inch strips. And it's a lot easier to do it when it is a big piece of paper. So I'm just going to line it up at the 1/4 inch mark and cut. But I'm going to keep them in order. So honestly, I think this is just about the most complicated part of the whole thing. Again, at the 1/4 inch mark, and cut that off. Like I say, keeping them in order. And then a 1/4 inch. So we've got 3 1/4 inch pieces. Now the designer series paper gets cut at 2 3/4. So we'll pop those over to the left hand side, and 1 1/4. And that is, we keep the flow of that going. Now the only thing about these pieces is they are 6 inches, and we need them to just be 5 1/4. And like I say, I could have cut the 5 1/4, but it's easier to cut 3 little slithers at 5 1/4 than it is to try and cut this down by multiples. So I'm just going to snip the difference off. So these end up being a 1/4. Nearly lost the order. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Sometimes you can see it, sometimes you can't. So I'll pop those down and get rid of the paper trimmer. So now I'm going to bring in the silicone mat and pop these on, because we don't want the adhesive to overhang. Little ticks, or if you use liquid glue, you can just run a little slither down. And then what we need to do is bring in the piece. So it's the half a cardstock, the 1 1/2 folded back on itself, and we're going to put one up against, well, not up against, but close enough to the edge, one close to the very folded edge of the card. And then the other one, basically, we're just going to sort of eyeball line up in the middle. So we've got a little bit of jazziness on that side. And then what we need to do is we need to add the papers in order. Now this is going to be, like I said, sort of like a ZZ fold. So I'm going to put it in the middle, flip it over, so we can see we don't want to put glue any further than that fold mark, otherwise you have stuck your card down. and it would not be the most friendly card to send to anybody. So there we have it. So we've got the adhesive on, and when you flip it back, I'm going to line it up between here and the edge of the card. You know what, let me just put this so you can see the concept of where I'm trying to put it. So it's just going to have an even border around this section, and then we know we didn't have any sticky on this side. So then we're going to open the card, and we're going to put this piece in between the edge of here and the fold. So you don't want to stick it on the fold, of course, because it would get crumpled. But you just want to see where your fold is, and then go right up to it. So it just leaves a nice little edge. And then the last piece is going to go here. I'm just turning mine over so I can control it better with my left hand rather than trying to see what I'm doing under my own hand. So let's just make sure that is not too close to the fold. We're really just leaving a little slither between the two pieces. There we go. And then we're going to put the crushed curry piece on. Typically you would use sort of a basic white or a lighter colour, but because this matches with the theme and it's light enough to write on, that was what I chose to use. So I just need to make sure that when the card is closed, you can't see that sticking out, and then stick everything down. Give that a good crease with the bone folder. And then attach the greeting. So I'm actually using Thankful because, you know, fallish colours. This came out of the September 2025, which I just received and did all those alternatives with. And I cut a little window, a little banner piece with the Stylish Shapes. Now, the Stylish Shapes banner is a little bit longer. So what you do is you put it in, and then where the raw edge is, you just move it up to the edge and it will cut you a smaller banner. And then I'm going to use the Cajun Craze. Matches the cardstock of the card. And I'm going, oh, I see a hair. It's molting season in the Alyson Stamps household, apparently. Oops. So we've just got Thankful, because we truly are. And then I am going to pop a couple of dimensionals on the back of there and pop them, oops, up in the top corner. So I'm just making it even on this little piece. So there you have it, 2 cards. Look at the splendor, literally, of that. But I also went ahead and made some of the gorgeous Aurora Borealis cardstock. I needed some birthday cards, and then I got a little bit carried away, so I made all these too, because this paper truly works better if you can highlight the whole thing. So there were 4 of those, the Lights of Aurora suite that I made. I was like, oh, I've lost a greeting, but it's actually down on the bottom of this one. But there you have the Lights of Aurora. We've got the lovely fall version that we've just made, and I think they are beyond splendid. If you like what you've seen, please consider subscribing. If you've got a question, just feel free to ask it in the box below. Let me know what you think of the cards. Feedback's always great to have. And in the meantime, thanks for watching.